and welcome to this Choice News Now Prime Special Report. I'm Janika Simon. My interview with Jimmy Henry last Wednesday was extensive. He obviously wanted to break the silence he has held for 3 long years, and he did just that. Talking to me about why he lobbied hard to be chosen as the United Workers' Party candidate for Dennery North in 2016, his attitude towards the job of government minister, and his bewilderment at being axed after visiting a long-standing friend who, though involved in questionable activities by Henry's own admission, was a known entity to the hierarchy of the party. What was obvious during our conversation is that Henry feels betrayed by his party, by the people who initially welcomed him into the Senate and into the cabinet. Henry began by reading a prepared 5-page statement addressed to the people of Dennery North and to the wider St. Lucian population.
Well, first of all, thank you for being here today. I've been contemplating for quite a while now whether I should do this thing, but I think now I have made up my mind that for my own sanity, I think I need to get this ball going. I need to move on with my life, and this is a start. Okay. Good day to everyone listening at this moment. I guess many persons who may know who I am, but I would like to introduce myself. My name is Jimmy Henry, the candidate who contested the 2016 general elections on a UWP ticket for the Dennery North constituency. Many may wonder why I'm here today. Well, it's simple. I think that it's time that I let the people of Dennery North, and by extension, the St. Lucian public, know why I had to leave the government so abruptly. Although I want to give an idea as to my struggles in becoming the candidate for the party, I realize that time may not permit, so I will endeavor to delve into the matter at hand. During the period almost a year into office, I decided to take a few days off from work, which was the week of my birthday. I decided to take a trip to the neighboring island of Barbados, where my friend was at the time. I left on Thursday, 2nd June 2017, and returned on Monday, 6th June 2017. Early that morning, because I did not want to miss out on my cabinet meeting. When I got to the airport, I was accosted by a police officer and 2 customs officers. They informed me that they were doing a random search and that I was one of the persons chosen. I remember telling the police officer that amongst everyone there, you chose me. The individual answered, yes. Immediately, I suspected that something was wrong because I was the only one who was approached. I then said, fine. He then said that they were not able to do it on the floor and that we should head to the lounge because they do not want to create a scene and embarrassment. I replied, it's too late. We then went up to the lounge where they looked into my bag, which was filled with my children's clothes. Then they asked whether I had any cash, which I answered yes. I gave them the cash and they asked how much. I told them it was 6,000 Barbados dollars. It was checked and then I was allowed to leave. When I got to cabinet that morning, I mentioned it to my cabinet colleagues, where we had a discussion with regards to the situation. A few weeks later, I was called into a meeting with the Prime Minister together with Minister of Agriculture, who was acting Prime Minister at the time of the incident. They expressed concern about my trip and my friendship with the same individual who was in Barbados at the same time. I told them that it was a short vacation trip and that I needed the break since I had not taken any time off since the election. I remember the Prime Minister saying to me that my relationship with the individual had created some friction where I was being looked at as someone who was a threat to his party. I remember the Minister of Agriculture making a number of comments and allegations which I chose which I choose not to get into at the moment. I was threatened in the sense that I was made to feel that I had committed a heinous crime, which was treasonous. My inexperience in the field of government contributed to that. They also mentioned a situation whereby I gave a colleague minister some sensitive information. I was speechless at the time. I felt my entire world crumbling. The Prime Minister gave me the option of having to leave or that I would have to be fired. Again, I felt bullied into making a decision that I did not want to make. I was also told that I was being investigated by the American Embassy for reasons they did not disclose, and also added that there were a number of other things which they would rather not get into. I was confused and scared, thinking that I had done something really bad. Thinking about it, I was in a position of power and influence and really felt that I had committed a crime. I was not given an opportunity to explain anything, which was how I got to resign. I was also told that it would be wise if it was done immediately and that I did not tell anyone about it, especially a meeting with members of the constituency of Denrenough. In the words of the Prime Minister, we do not need any huge commotion. In my naive state, scared at the same time, I listened to all what they had said. In this country, senior ministers can have whoever they want as their friends, but the ones who can be manipulated because they have no power, money, or any kind of fame are supposed to be caged. Many will ask the question, why now? And I believe that this is a fair enough question which needs an answer. The truth is that I think the best person to answer this question would be the Prime Minister of St. Lucia and the Minister of Agriculture. The reason why I say this is because I was never given a legitimate reason as to relieving my post in the cabinet. One would argue that I did not win a seat in Parliament and that the government gave me a position, and the Prime Minister, in his own judgment, had every right to take it away, which I agree. Then why was I given the position in the first place? My people, I want to let you know that I have no influence in the party and the government. After my forced resignation, I have never been invited to any kind of function, be it party nor governmental. After my departure, very little has been happening in the constituency, and the little which is being done is done by persons who were not part of the campaign, who even campaigned against me, and also persons from the outside. They are the ones receiving contracts, and many of the huge ones being done by persons from the outside. Is that fair? Is that right? The many who sacrificed everything are left on the sideline, while those who were against me are reaping the benefits. Many believe that I received a large sum of money to leave the party. I will say again that I did not receive a cent from the party. They also want to make the public believe that I am receiving a salary from the government and working somewhere. The truth is that I have not worked for about 3 years now. Denrenough, I did not sell you out. I want to say that I am sorry for what transpired. I wish that I could have taken it back. I wish that I could have listened, I could have come to discuss the situation with you before I took the decision. I wish that I had listened to my family and not resigned, but allowed the government to fire me as they threatened to. I wish that I had listened to my gut feeling and seek legal advice before taking the decision that I did. It has been rough, it has been tough for me and my family for the past years. I need to let those in position in the position of power know that I am down but not out. I have been threatened so many times in the past few years for my decision to resign. I also feel the need to come out and explain to the people of Dennery North for my own sanity. Too many sacrificed on my behalf, and many who did not lift a finger are the ones benefiting today. This is not fair. This is not right. Some may say that I was employed, but really and truly, what exactly did I do to warrant such a treatment by my own? I got involved in politics not because I was motivated by power or fame. I got involved because I knew that I could have made a difference in my community, country, and region. I did not receive a cent from having to be chosen to make myself available for elective politics. I was not one of those who waited till I was of pensionable age, then got involved. I gave up my pension, gratuity, and salary. Everything which comes with the risk of getting into politics. Throughout my campaign, I did not receive a cent. Again, I did not receive a cent from anyone, not even the party which I represented. I was sent out in the field to be slaughtered, but I knew better. This is one of the reasons that I was called in. The date of election was announced to contest the seat against a friend, a former colleague, and a formidable opponent, one I respect up to today. I speak now to those at the helm who has the influence and for some reason never wanted me to be the candidate. I went through hell and back to be the candidate for under the UWP during the June 2016 general election. Many fought from day one for not wanting me there. Many of them now have powerful positions in government. I remember clearly one, and he knows himself, who campaigned against me days before elections. They are now sitting in high chairs within the legislative system of government. Bravo to you. Again, I am down but not out. Ladies and gentlemen, I am not done with this politics thing. I have not accomplished what I set out to do. I would like to say to the many people in the valley, Dennery North, that is, who supported me from day one. The many persons I wish to mention, there are many persons I wish to mention their names, but I would not want to leave out any, so I will refrain from doing so. Those persons who walked with me throughout the constituency, I thank all of you, and I want to say that I am sorry that things turned out the way they did. The truth is that it was never my intention. I hope that someday you will find it in your hearts to forgive me. With all this said, I still believe that I have a lot to contribute towards the development of my country and constituency as a whole. As a young person, I understand the needs of the people of this country. I do believe that I have the energy to do what it takes to assist and make a meaningful contribution and valuable contribution in whatever I so desire. Thank you, and may God bless everyone on this beautiful island of St. Lucia.
I wanted to delve a little deeper into Henry's motivations behind speaking out in this way and whether he was prepared for the reaction to his public comments that I knew would be forthcoming. Now, throughout the interview, the camera remains on Henry so as to capture his facial expressions and body language as I pose questions to him and as he responds to them. I want you to look closely and to judge the man for yourself.
I've been going through this motion for the past 3 years now, and I've been trying to get in touch with persons of authority. I mean, I was in a position of power, and like you said, persons I know persons are going to say, but he was there and he did whatever. And I beg to ask the question again: what exactly, really and truly, what exactly did he do? Mm-hmm. And I know one particular person. I know that's his motto. He was there, and he did whatever. I want now for the. I don't want persons to think too that I am attacking the government. I'm attacking the party. I'm not. Like I read in my statement, I'm doing this thing for my family. I'm doing this thing most importantly for myself, for my own sanity. I needed to get this thing off of my chest.
The precipitating factor for Henry's demitting office was his visit to Barbados on the invitation of someone Henry himself admitted was widely known to be involved in illegal activities. I needed to understand why Henry thought it acceptable as a member of the Senate and of Cabinet to visit such a person, albeit in another country. When we spoke the last time, you told me, and you read in your statement, that you were invited to Barbados since the week of your birthday. You hadn't had a break, so your friend invited you, hey, come, let's chill out in Barbados, and you agreed. Yeah. This friend of yours is somebody that you admitted to me that you have knowledge that this person has been involved in illegal activities. Let's just be honest. This is correct.
Okay. Well, you're correct. I mean, it's not a secret. It's not a secret that the individual has his extracurricular activities. This is his business. This has nothing to do with me. But the gentleman, I have been friends with the gentleman for a very long time. Actually, the gentleman's son. And his son's godfather. So that's supposed to tell you how far back we're friends.
But did it not occur to you at any point in time? So the person issues this invitation.
Well, it's not. I would not say
as a
issued.
Minister of Government.
I would not say issued an invitation. The fact that I needed the break, and it was the weekend. Like I said, it was the weekend of my birthday, and I figured. Why not go just relax for a weekend?
But okay, so what did you do in Barbados? Did you hang out with this person?
I did.
Did you stay at this person's place of residence?
No. I was by some other person, another friend, but I used to hang out. The truth is, I used to hang out with this person on a daily basis. I did not go anywhere that I was not supposed to have gone. I did not do anything that I was not supposed to have done. I was just relaxing. I was just enjoying my time away from everything, just relaxing my mind.
Now, I understand the dynamics of friendship. St. Lucia is a very small country. Small. But did it not occur to you at any point in time prior to the trip or while you were there that as a senator, as a minister of government, maybe I should not have such a close association with this person?
Really and truly, I'm not going to say, but why would this gentleman, this gentleman has been my friend for years upon years. Why is it that when I become a minister of government, a senator, that I'm supposed to pull away from this gentleman? Why?
But in terms of the optics of the situation, so Jimmy Henry as a regular Joe Blow man on the street,
yes,
fine and dandy, nobody really cares about who your associates are. But Jimmy Henry, the senator, the minister of government, somebody who represents the country to an extent,
yes,
should be more circumspect, should be more discerning about the company he keeps. Do you not see the merit in that argument?
I agree to a certain extent. I will agree. But then again, at the same time, why would we be such hypocrites? Why would I would be a hypocrite if I'm a minister and I'm supposed to pull away, while maybe again that I was supposed to have maybe kind of deal with the situation differently, but then it would have been hypocritical for me to say, boy, I'm just going to just brush this individual aside and be done with this friendship. When I know for a fact that I had never found myself in any situation with the gentleman in any way, no way possible, none whatsoever. It's just that the gentleman had been my friend, and that was it. That was it. That was it.
Henry had disclosed during a prior conversation with me that the person in question supported him during his whirlwind electoral campaign in 2016, which was ultimately unsuccessful. I wanted to know what kind of support he had received.
Actually, the gentleman, and I like how you put this thing. You see, we find ourselves in a situation when we're doing these things. Again, it goes back down to we 248 square miles, roughly 180,000 people. Politics is something that's very ticklish. You on a campaign trail. You need everyone. You need everyone's votes. Every single individual who's able to vote, you're going to try to encourage these individuals to come on board. I need your support. And the gentleman helped out quite a bit in terms of getting his persons, some of his family members, his friends from the constituency to support me. I never received $1, not 1 cent from this gentleman for election purposes. Never.
What makes this strange tale even stranger is that the party hierarchy had raised concerns about this person even prior to Henry's selection as the endorsed UWP candidate for Dennery North. My question is the discussion prior to the general election. How was that resolved? Because you were still, concerns were raised.
Yeah.
What was your response, or why do you think that your response kind of not placated but satisfied the committee that they were still willing and happy to have you nominated as the official candidate? Okay,
because what happened is that before I came on board, I attended about 2 or 3 meetings, and the question came up, and I said, and together with an individual who was present with me at the time, I said to the panel, I have the individual is just my friend. That's it. That's the bottom line, and I'm not going to take this thing any further. That's it. So, and the other gentleman who was there with me, who was my campaign manager at the time, said exact same thing I said. The exact same thing I said, that the gentleman is just. I have known these people as friends for a while. The campaign manager said, but the gentleman is also my friend. The gentleman. I hung out with the gentleman, and that's it. That's the bottom line. So everybody who befriends this particular gentleman, this doesn't make sense.
Do you feel that it is unfair of the Prime Minister to, as he's the political leader of the party, so I'm assuming that he has knowledge of the campaign selection process. You know, he would have a say in the candidates for the various constituencies. Sure. So do you think it's unfair of the Prime Minister to have allowed you to run a campaign? The concerns were brought up, they were addressed prior to that. You didn't win, but he is the one who recommended to the Governor General that you be appointed as to the Senate. He is the one who told you, I want you to serve in my cabinet as Minister in the Ministry of Agriculture. So do you think that it is an unfair treatment of you for you to have been nominated, run a campaign, appointed as a senator, appointed as a minister, and then because of this trip to Barbados, he's now coming to say, oh, your friendship with this individual is questionable and you have done something wrong?
Yeah. It is unfair. when I started out this thing, maybe about 2013, I started. I was met with so many obstacles. I wrote to the party, I wrote to the constituency group. My letter was thrown away a number of times, on more than one occasion. I came on board because what happened is that the party had already, I suspect that the party had already handpicked an individual to contest the general election. Handpicked, I would say. But then the constituents, they did not agree with whoever the prime minister, well, I'll not say the prime minister, but the national council had chosen, and they came out in large numbers. I remember the media came to Denrinoff, and they expressed the constituents expressed their concern with regards to the individual who had not been, who, in my opinion, was a weak individual, and he would not have created any kind of dent in winning the seat in the valley. Actually, in my opinion, what I thought would have happened, the opposition, the current opposition, they were hoping that the gentleman would have, they would have allowed him to run the seat, because what would have happened is that the candidate at the time, what he would have done, in my opinion, again, my humble opinion, is that he would have come down to Dennery South, and they would have used up all their resources, whatever resources they had, and they would have gotten rid of the member for Dennery South, and it could have been by one vote. He knows that he would have won in Dennery North.
The UWP candidates, if they had gone with that person,
the person they want,
the weak candidate, in your opinion,
too weak,
that this would have been an easy
victory for the Labour Party. They would have come down to Dennery. They would have come down to Dennery and used up quite a bit of their resources. It could have been by one vote, in my opinion, humble opinion. It could have been by one vote that he won in the candidate from Dennery North won. He would have won the Labour Party candidate. I think that he would have won hands down. And look at this. I came in 2 weeks. I did not, again, like I said, I did not receive $1 from, I do not know anything about financing when it came to my campaign. I do not know anything about campaign. I was out for 2 weeks straight. I was out. Ask me about financing, I do not know. I was out because I knew what I wanted. I knew how I would have gotten it, and I had been working for over a while, trying to get persons to get on board, to give me that opportunity to represent them.
Is that normal, Jimmy, that the nominated candidate running a campaign doesn't have any knowledge of the financial?
That's a very good. That's a very good question. I'm going to say again to you, the country, the people of Dennery North, that I did not receive $1. I did not receive. I have not received $1 from the government of St. Lucia for campaign.
From the party.
From the party.
Yeah.
Not the government, but from the party.
From the sound of it, there was a lot of resistance to the idea of Henry even contesting the election on a UWP ticket. I asked him about that as well. I am struggling a little bit to understand why you were so persistent in your efforts to be selected as a candidate for a party that seems to have not wanted you.
Very good question.
You were announced. The announcement of Jimmy Henry as a candidate for Dennery North took a lot of people by surprise.
Right.
This was literally 17 days.
The results took a lot of people by surprise also. So you have to make note of this. The results took a lot of.
We'll talk about the result,
Yeah.
but I'm just trying to get a sense of your mindset. You say you were writing letters from 2013. The Dennery North Constituency Council was not interested.
Nope.
You then pressed your case to the national board. They were kind of hemming and hawing, and somehow just ahead of elections, they decided, well, maybe the candidate that we wanted was not really a viable person, so let's take this guy.
Yes.
Why were you so determined?
Because as a young person, I knew what I wanted from day one, and I'd always been fascinated with politics. I remember the days of Sir John, and I should think that he's an idol to a number of persons in this country. And I supported the United. I remember from '97, the 16-1 victory. I supported the St. Lucia Labour Party because everybody. I did not, first and foremost, I did not know better. And everybody, I just fell on the bandwagon.
It was a national wave.
That's right, yeah. That's right. I fell on the bandwagon. I was all over the place. The 16-1 victory, I was there. But then, as time went by, I saw myself not in tune with what was happening with the leader of the Labour Party. I kind of fell on the side of the United Workers' Party. I understood what they stood for. And I was more into the United Workers' Party. And from then on, I went on, and I supported Tony Torrance. I'm sorry. Well, yeah, Tony Torrance in '97, and after that, I went on to the UWP side, where I voted for Marcus Nicholas twice. I voted for Marcus Nicholas.
In 2016, though, Sir John was no longer the leader of the party.
Sir John was no longer, right.
He was deceased, in fact. And the new leader of the party, to my understanding, is not somebody that you supported as leader. So why, again, I'm coming back to that question. Yeah. So I understand your affinity for the policies of Sir John. I understand because we spoke in depth about Sir John's policies.
But it's dying out, though, his policies.
What's that?
It's dying out, though. What he stood for.
Well, this is what I'm saying. So this makes sense to me that after 1997, Sir John was still involved and he came back and so on. Right. But then 2016, which is when you ran for office, Sir John is no longer around, and the person that's leading the party now is not somebody that you supported as leader. Yeah. So why would you still want to run under a UWP ticket? If you wanted to serve or be involved in politics, independent candidacy. The thing is,
UWP ticket the thing is, while although I didn't want to say that I was eyeing for somebody, another political leader, but then why not give somebody a chance? I felt that it was fair and right that we gave the gentleman a chance, and if everybody, the entire council decided, well, we're giving this gentleman a chance. Wow, who am I to say no? I'm not giving him a chance.
So I
accepted. I accepted. I had no problems. With him being there.
Okay. Let me see. Did he know how you felt prior to that leadership contest?
I have no idea.
Was it something that was like openly discussed?
There was never a discussion about this thing. There was never a discussion.
Understood. No. Do you still consider yourself a supporter of the party, given all that's transpired?
I still align myself with the United Workers' Party. I still align myself with the United Workers' Party.
Okay.
Yes.
And I mean, nobody knows, or maybe you do, but
Yeah.
you can't decide how you're going to vote until you step into the ballot box.
Yeah.
But given
Yeah.
given how you feel right now,
Mhm.
you still feel comfortable voting United Workers' Party candidates?
Next question. Next question.
All right. I didn't press him on that question since, of course, everyone has the right to keep their voting preferences to themselves. But at this point in what had thus far been an interesting discussion, I was really curious about what was next for Jimmy Henry. Let's deal with this question. You said that you're still interested in politics. You don't feel like you've accomplished what you set out to do, and that's understandable given your extremely short tenure in office.
That's right.
Is this chat with me today the orchestrated beginning of the Jimmy Henry comeback tour?
I'm going to answer that question later on in the year. I'm not going to answer that question now. The thing is, I'm literally crippled. Literally. I don't work. I've not worked for the past 3 years. I have a family to think about. I'm just taking it one day at a time. So I'm not gonna forget about it, but I'm not thinking about this at the moment.
Okay. I'm going to stick a pin in that for a little while because I want to come back and talk about that phenomenon. You said you haven't worked in a number of years. So just stick a pin in that for me. We'll come back to that. But I want to ask you, subsequent to the incident at the airport, you were approached by the officer. In the 3 years that have elapsed since then, have you ever been questioned by police, by customs, by any other law enforcement agency about your trip, about the money, about anything at all, about your association with this individual? Have you?
Never. And I don't. The truth is, I don't think they have any reason to, because there's nothing. I have never been approached by anyone at any time. Never.
Did you ever ask the police directly to let you know? I mean, they may or may not tell you, but did you ask them specifically, hey, this was a very weird incident and like it cost me my job basically. How can you tell me whether I am in fact under investigation? Did you ever reach out to the Americans? Again, not that they would tell you, but you know, ever?
Actually, I spoke with a particular gentleman, which I'd rather not mention at the moment. Somebody who's in the hierarchy of the police force, and I was told that they, up to a day like today, they have not found any trace of me being investigated. But and again, but why exactly? I would want to ask that. I have never been involved in any kind of extracurricular activities. I had not now, not when I worked with the government for over 16 years. Never, ever. So, but why now? I never.
You said in your statement, and I noted this because I found it very interesting, given what other former and current ministers of government have said. Senior ministers can befriend who they want. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, because I'm this new kid on the block, and the some persons, I guess, feel like they could manipulate, and you have persons you have persons, so many persons on both spectrum who befriends who have befriends. How can you?
So are you saying that there exists people, and let's just say parliamentarians, right? Because that would encompass everybody, who have questionable friends, acquaintances?
Well, they need to find out. They need to find out.
Do you think that this is the case?
Well, that's left to be seen.
But you made the statement.
Yeah,
Senior ministers can befriend who they want.
Yeah, who they want, as in whoever they want. whoever they want. Whoever they want. But I am the one who's told who's supposed to be my friend and who's not supposed to be my friend. That's this to me. That's out of place.
One big issue hanging over the conversation from the beginning was the difference in trajectory between Henry and another senator and government minister in this administration who resigned from office under a cloud of scandal. Let's contrast how you were dealt with how another former senator and former minister of government was dealt with. So 2016 is the election. Was it early 2017 when the first scandal with the former senator broke with the two young ladies? It was early 2017, if I'm recalling correctly. He was defended by the Prime Minister.
Yep.
You were questioned on one occasion at the airport, and you were asked to resign or be fired.
With no proof of anything.
Right.
With no proof of any wrongdoing, I would say.
What do you make of that? The difference. What do you make of that? 'Cause both of you were senators, right? So not elected officials. Both of you were in the Senate. Both of you were appointed to cabinet.
Yep.
So the positions were somewhat parallel. We had a scandal in which we saw text messages, we saw photos, we saw video, I believe. You were asked to resign and be fired.
Yeah.
He was defended and kept in office. Yeah, give me your thoughts.
I almost do not want to get into the minister's situation, because that's his problem.
Not his situation, but how the leader, the prime minister,
you see, the thing is,
dealt with the two situations.
Because I had no name, I had nobody to stand with me, I had nobody to stand by me, I had no money, I was just a lay individual who just wanted to get into politics, who wanted to serve. A lay individual who likes to hang out in the ghetto, who likes to hang out on the block with my piece of funds. I was not one who, actually, I think I mentioned that to you. I had been a minister for a year, almost a year, and I had not gone to the Prime Minister's residence. Actually, I did not even know where it was. I'm being very honest, because this is not me. I am that individual who likes to hang out on the block with the guys and laugh and joke and go someplace and cook food, and this is me. Although when you find yourself in certain positions, you have to readjust. But then I did not want to lose my identity just because of a position. At the end of the day, you look at what happened to me. What if I had forgotten about everybody just because I became a minister, a young minister, and I forgot about everybody? What would have happened today? Forgotten about persons, and I have to go back to the same individuals. Hey, what's up? I can't do that.
Redirecting the conversation back to the topic we had stuck a pin in earlier, I asked Henry to speak to me about the financial hardships he had endured since leaving office. So let's talk about that. You told me that since you left office, things have been quite rough for you. You've not worked. I think you told me that you had a short-term contract.
Yes, for 6 months. But that was it.
With the government?
Yes, with the government.
Okay. And what were you doing?
I was doing some consultancy work with Minister Belrose.
Okay. Can you just
with regards to the constituency councils in the different constituencies.
On the local government
local
side
government,
of things.
that's
okay.
Right. Yeah. That was it.
Have you tendered for any, have you put in for any other consultancies? I mean, just talk to me about your efforts in securing employment. Tell me about that.
I've tried. I've called. I've made calls, I've applied in the private sector to no avail.
And your previous position with the government?
Was a probation officer.
Okay.
Yes. This is what, my degree is in criminal justice. And that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you applied back to your old department?
No, I haven't.
Why not?
I was liaising with a minister, and up to now, nothing.
Do you?
But I would have to apply and go through. Anyway, let me not even say what I was going to say. Let's leave that alone.
Do you feel abandoned?
I am abandoned. I am. Not feel. I am.
What's next?
Good question.
What would you like to see in the short term, medium term, long term?
I would like to see myself gainfully employed, because from the time I was 18, I've been on from school. After I left school, I've been working up until June of 2016. When I tendered my resignation, I have worked, taken care of myself, taken care of my family, and I've not been able to do that for the past. I've not been able to do that. I thank God for family, for the support of my family. I thank God for them every single day. Every single day, I thank God for them.
At this point, I wanted to revisit the incident that was the proximate cause of his departure from government. I had some as yet unanswered questions about the funds Henry was carrying when he was stopped, searched, and questioned at the GFL Charles Airport. You said that you had the 6,000 Barbados dollars with you on that day. Whose money was that? Yours?
I had, all of the money wasn't mine. I had 3,000 for myself and my money, and then 3,000 I was supposed to have given this to an individual.
Okay. I always wonder why people choose to carry money for other people when channels like Western Union and all of these things exist. Why were you carrying?
Because you don't have to pay. You don't have to pay any money. So you don't have to give Western Union any money. I mean, if you look, this is a small island. This is a small island state. We look at the U.S. Persons are coming down every year. Persons are coming down every day. Persons are coming down from the U.S. and families will say, "I want you to give that to my mom. I want you to give that to my." If then you have to look at this, then you have to look at everybody who's coming from the United States of America, especially during Christmas time. Everybody is coming in with loads of money because persons, and that's not a bad thing, because the money is being spent in the country. What's wrong with that? I don't see anything wrong with this thing. Nothing wrong.
What was missing from Henry's recorded response is something he had mentioned to me in an earlier conversation, that the money was given to him by the same individual who is or was involved in what Henry terms extracurricular activities. Knowing that sometimes people of interest to law enforcement are surveilled and their contacts or acquaintances also monitored, it struck me as supremely ill-advised for Henry to have agreed to carry funds of unknown provenance into the country for someone in that line of work. But Henry seemed genuinely baffled by the circumstances that transpired that day. Leaving aside that line of questioning, I turned to another topic I was curious about. Did Henry's experience leave him feeling bitter about the man who now sits at the helm of the party founded by Henry's beloved Sir John Compton? Given your experience, what is your honest opinion on the current culture and governance style of the United Workers' Party?
Do I have to answer this?
Nobody has to answer.
Yeah, I'd rather not answer this. Yeah, I'd rather hold back.
If the National Council or the local constituency council, I know they haven't been answering your calls, but if you suddenly your phone rings one day
no,
and they're like, "Oh my gosh, elections are around the corner," I'm hoping that they will call you. You know, not with 2 weeks to go.
To do what?
To run. Would you?
That's far-fetched.
It's far-fetched.
Yeah.
But, you know, life is strange. Anything can happen.
Yeah, you're right.
Would you feel comfortable accepting?
No, I wouldn't.
No.
No. Once bitten, twice.
I wrapped up our interview by asking what was Henry's major takeaway from this whole ordeal. Lessons learned. What are those?
Lessons learned. Oh boy. What can I say?
Is politics a place for good boys?
I didn't want to go there. But remember, yeah, but you just hitting all the nails on the head. I remember one time when a certain candidate, he was a candidate for Cashew Southeast at the time. This was Mr. Francis. Remember, he was going up against Dr. Luis, and Cashew South, and he said that politics is not for good boys. You not, and everyone took him to task. But really and truly, he knew what he was saying. I think majority of the country now understand really and truly what exactly he was saying with regards to politics not being a nice place. It's not for persons who have genuine hearts. Genuine, and you want to do something, you want to make some meaningful contribution. This place maybe changes you. You have to follow a certain path, which sometimes some persons may not want to follow. You have to be ruthless.
Despite this revelation, you still say that you're interested in politics.
Yeah.
Why?
Because you see, the thing is, I feel, you see, when somebody comes, I remember being in office for a year, just about a year. And when somebody comes to your office, and you're able to assist them, you're able to help out and to solve a particular problem, this is so gratifying, that you've made a change in somebody's life.
Henry ended with a message to the people of Dennery North, who he sought to represent in 2016.
Again, I would like to say to the people of Dennery North, especially, that I'm sorry for whatever transpired. I know that I should have come to you. And explain exactly what transpired. I should have come. It's late, but at least I've come out and said exactly what I wanted to say. And I'm sorry. I'm really, honestly, truly sorry for those persons.
And to quote a popular Jamaican dancehall artist, I could go on and on. The full has never been told. Will we ever get to know the real truth of the Jimmy Henry saga? That's debatable, but what I can say is that this is the most we've heard so far about the whole issue, and it is highly unlikely that this is the end of the tale. This has been a Choice News Now special report. I'm Janika Simon, reporting.